The iPhone 17 Pro just arrived in the mail, so let's get it unboxed and set up. As a filmmaker, I'll be sharing some first impressions because I have a ton of thoughts about this phone, and we'll finish off by adding some clean, minimal accessories you won't want to miss. Okay, so ripping open the two pull tabs. Opening any Apple product is such a premium experience. I love how minimal and easy it is. Dang, this silver colorway looks really good. I feel like I'm a creature of habit because I always pick the monochrome or black colorway, and it wasn't until last year I really went out of my comfort zone and got the natural titanium. So I was really hoping they would offer something similar, or at the very least a black iPhone, but Apple, for the first time in as long as I can remember, they only have 3 colors and black isn't one of them. We still have the action button, which I have set to the default mute or silent. If you have any really creative ways of optimizing this, then please let me know in the comments. We also have the volume buttons, the side button, camera control, which I don't think I've touched since last year's review, which is unfortunate because it had a ton of potential. It's just not as easy to use as I think Apple hoped it would be. Looking around the edges, you notice we have aluminum now, or aluminium for anyone not in the US. There's ceramic shield too on the front and back, and they've redesigned the camera bump, the back glass, they've moved the Apple logo down and redesigned the antenna location. You'll also notice that it feels much more refined along the edges just because of how rounded they are. It's just seamless. It also feels maybe the same, if not lighter than the 16 Pro, which makes absolutely no sense because on paper it's technically heavier. Either way though, it's not a light phone, and I guess that's what the iPhone Air is for. I just miss the iPhone 15 Pro days. That phone felt so light in the hand. It comes with a braided USB-C cable, which you'll need to hoard these because I bet there's a day in the very near future when Apple will remove the cable from the box as well. Do you guys remember when Apple used to care about us and they would give us a phone, cable, charging brick, stickers, and AirPods? Those were the days. Looking at the camera array, it's now taken up over the entire back of the phone. When I first saw the leaks, I was really hoping it wouldn't look like this because it just seemed a little over the top, but we know it was necessary to fit more into the iPhone, which if you're buying this to use as a tool and not a fashion accessory, that should be really important. Each camera is now a 48 megapixel fusion camera with a new 8x optical zoom telephoto, which is a 200 millimeter lens equivalent. So you can now film way out into the distance, and there's also a new ultra wide for those 0.5 selfies. Apple didn't mention anything about thinner bezels on the 17 Pro, and you can see in this side-by-side comparison with the 16 Pro that they look pretty much the same. If you're upgrading from an older iPhone though, these will look razor thin compared to the phone you probably currently have. And we'll see how the fingerprints work with the aluminum, since stainless steel was a really bad idea, and I'm not sure titanium was that much better, but so far so good. Turning on the phone, we have the classic hello screen. Now, pro tip, if you are upgrading from an older iPhone and you want to just transfer everything over seamlessly, I would highly recommend backing up all your photos and videos to a Mac or PC first, just because it will take forever to transfer from one iPhone to the other normally. I'm looking at you crazy 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte users. Delete the duplicate photos and videos on your old iPhone, and then it won't take as long. Obviously, when you get a new iPhone, you're probably gonna want some new accessories, whether it's a phone case or screen protector or both. Because I don't care how durable Apple claims ceramic shield is, we all know that glass is glass and glass breaks. I personally really like using a matte screen protector. I've talked about this in past videos, but essentially it just gives your phone a premium feeling. It cuts down on glares, reflections, and if you're filming your screen, it just looks that much better. I also find it has less fingerprints and is easier to clean. This one is made by TAC. They also have a gloss version if you want your Super Retina XDR display to retain those deep blacks. They also make ultra thin phone cases. I currently have their premium case, which comes in a diamond clear. They also have an onyx clear. It's only 1 millimeter thick, weighs 19 grams for the Pro version, and has MagSafe compatible magnets built in. There's also precise cutouts for the camera and the buttons. Every year when I buy the new iPhone, I'm stoked on how it looks and feels, but I'm also afraid that I'm gonna drop it and scuff it up because that's happened to me. So just having a ridiculously thin clear case is awesome. It also pairs really well with TAC's new Mini Wallet Pro, because why would you get a Pro phone and not a Pro wallet? When you compare it to their standard wallet, you'll notice it now has MagSafe compatibility, and it fits really nicely under the camera bump of 17 Pro. It holds up to 5 cards, so that's 3 less than the standard, but it is super thin. I personally put 3 cards in there, and I also have TAC's tracking card because I've lost my wallet before and that sucks. If you want to pick up any TAC accessories for your iPhone, then click the link below the like button and use code AB10 for 10% off your order. order. So overall first impressions are positive. I remember last year feeling a little disappointment in the lack of improvements on the 16 Pro. Obviously there was camera control, but that turned out to not be as cool as we thought it was going to be. With 17 Pro, it's nice to have a design refresh. I still wish they made a black version. It feels really good in the hand and it looks like it's going to perform really well. The jury is still out though on how good the internal improvements are, which I think is much more important than the aesthetics. So we'll have to wait for the review to see if it's actually worth upgrading, which I will be doing a full review on my channel, so get subscribed so you don't miss it. Now, I love trying to be minimal and intentional, and one thing I do every year, whether I'm upgrading or not, is refresh my wallpaper. I'll go through all my apps and widgets to make sure I'm set up as productive as possible. So I've partnered with Owen Jenkins Design and created a brand new wallpaper pack called Color Fusion. There are 18 designs to pick from. My personal favorite is this dark wavy pattern. I think it looks really clean with iOS 26. So if you're looking for new wallpaper, I'll link those below. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.